My name is Michelle Wittick. I want to talk to you a little bit about a project that I've been working on called Genius Hour. Genius Hour, in its essence, is meant to give people the opportunity to work on anything on any topic that they choose. The purpose of this is to give people a chance to step outside of their daily work or their daily education and the regular things that they'd be focusing on their time on, and give them a chance to really delve into something that they're interested in. For my Genius Hour, I focused on singing. It's a goal of mine to improve my vocal ability. I've loved singing ever since I was probably about 4 years old. I would sing in the church choir, I would sing at my house, to the point that my family sometimes was a little bit annoyed and asked me to stop. I'd sing to the radio in the car, I'd sing in the shower. When I was in later elementary school and moving into high school, I started to take voice lessons. And then throughout high school, I was involved in the music program, in instrumental music, and a lot in vocal music, in the choir and the jazz choir. And my friends and I would even sing during our free time. So if you haven't noticed already, a lot of the time in my life has been dedicated to music in some form or another. And so when I was presented with the opportunity of what to spend time on for this Genius Hour project, I, threw a few different ideas around. I came to the decision that I wanted to spend more time singing, more time improving my vocal ability, not just singing for fun or for leisure, but really delve into it, delve into learning how to sing better, how to harmonize better, as something that I've been learning over the last number of years. So what I decided was learn how to use GarageBand. It's an app that is used on Apple products. And I had access to it on my computer, so I thought, why not use GarageBand and see how I can use it to improve my vocal ability? At first, I was talking to my technology teacher about this, and I explained that I was pretty nervous to do something like singing for my Genius Hour. I knew other people would be looking at it. I knew I would have to post my progress online, and quite frankly, that made me really nervous. But my teacher encouraged me to kind of just step out of my comfort zone a little bit, to try the thing that made me scared, because that was probably going to be the thing that I found most fulfilling in the end. So I chose to sing Lean On Me by Bill Withers. This song is one that I sang in high school with my friends. We created different harmonies to the song and performed it at a coffee house fundraiser at school. The thing that I remember most about singing that song and creating harmonies with my friends was how much I enjoyed it. Creating this song together, creating this new sound, and even though we all knew the song, we were modifying it and making it something different and something that was very specific to us and to our abilities and to our voices. And it was through that experience that I learned that creating something like music is so beautiful and so inspiring, and it really brings something out of you that you might not have ever even realized was there before. And I'm not just talking about talent, but I'm talking about this passion that gets stirred up when you start to do something that you really enjoy and something really special. So I wasn't exactly sure, what my direction was going to be, even in choosing GarageBand as my tool, even in choosing the song, and knowing that the end result, I wanted it to be something that I had improved through the use of GarageBand. Before I even looked at any of the features of GarageBand, I just used what I knew existed, and basically that was the simple, recording feature, layering voices over top of one another, that kind of thing. It was amazing to me the things that I started to realize in that first recording. Started to pick out some of the things about my voice that I didn't really like, things like pitch, timing, when I was layering the harmonies on top of one another, the timing of that to make it sound smooth, even just the fluidity of song. That's actually something that for a long time my music teacher had told me in high school, work on the musicality of it, the smooth flow of it. I think I've been so caught up in making sure everything is technically the way it should be that I kind of lose the creativity in my song and when I create something musical. So I wanted to work on all of those things. And, I took a second take and then a third, and really started to be able to hear some of the things that I wouldn't have noticed otherwise in my voice. I wouldn't have noticed the pitch in my voice. Sometimes you do, sometimes you pick it out, but without that playback feature and through watching tutorial videos and looking online, even just kind of exploring in GarageBand myself, I found some features that really helped in those areas, in those specific areas that I wanted to improve on. Now, I won't go into detail about the specifics of what I found. It's hard to describe when I don't have GarageBand like right here to show you, but what I would love you to do is to visit my blog and just to see some of those technical aspects I learned about in GarageBand and how that actually helped to improve my singing. What I do want to talk to you about, though, is creating. I don't always really think of myself as a creative person. Like I said, I find I stay in this sort of rigid box, and my thoughts and my ideas might be creative, but the output of that is not necessarily what I would like it to be, which I think is probably part of the reason I was so nervous in the first place to do this project, to record and produce something creative and share that. There's a couple of things, though, that I want to encourage you on in terms of creating something. It may not be music, it may not even be an art form, it might be something very scientific, or it might be something very logical, or it might be something you never even realized you were good at or interested in, or something you've been interested in but have never actually had the chance to do. But there's something so powerful about putting yourself out there and about taking time to sit down and to really think about what your interests are, to really start to explore that, to step away from the busyness of life. And I know, trust me, it can be incredibly busy and incredibly stressful, but to step away from that and to do something that matters to you, and to do something that you enjoy, to step aside from being a consumer and be a creator. There's something really powerful about that. There's something really scary and powerful about sharing that. There's something really vulnerable about putting yourself out there, letting people see a gift, something you've produced personally that people haven't ever seen before from you. Something that's outside of your box of talents or abilities. So that's the first thing. I want to encourage you to create something. The second thing I want to encourage you to do, though, is to improve on a talent or a skill or something that you might not be talented at all, but you want to learn. There's so many resources available to learn things, anything that you want to learn. So look to take advice from other people that have that talent or that gift, or have created something similar to what you want to create. Be vulnerable and willing to open yourself up to understand the things that you need to change and improve on. To be specific about what you want to improve. Then taking those goals, finding some way to work on those goals. For me, it was tutorial videos on GarageBand, and it was using the knowledge and the advice that I have had from different musical influences in my life. For you, that might be something different, but taking that advice, taking those tips, taking that information, and really applying it to specific things that you want to improve on. And then tracking that process. There's such power in looking back at something that you've done and seeing the improvement, taking and pointing out the improvements that you've made. And it's not healthy, I don't think, to pull out all the mistakes all the time. Trust me, I've fallen into that, and it's not a good place to be. So look at the things that you've made progress on, and then look for the things that you want to improve on. The two really go together. The creation of something and then improvement in that skill area and in that talent area. Because if you've never created it, you won't know how to improve on it. But if you're too afraid to create it because you don't feel you're good enough, then you will never create, and then you'll never get better. So really what I've learned, far beyond all the technical and technological components of what I've created for my Genius Hour project, I've learned what it looks like to take a step out of my comfort zone, and I've learned what it looks like to take time aside from the busyness of life and do something that I love. And I've learned what it looks like to critique myself, although I've always been quite good at that, but also to pick out the areas that I've improved and to track that progress. And in the end, though, my final take, for the sake of the timeline of this project, is not exactly what I want it to be, I see the areas that I've improved and I see where I want to go next. And if I have another chunk of time like this where I can focus in on a project in creating, I can take what I've done and I can choose a different song to apply it to. Or I can take that song and try to add creative elements to it that I haven't before. You know, my purpose was in harmonizing and pitch and timing, and I think those things I've worked on and progressed in through the last number of weeks. But now I want to move further from that and take what I've learned and apply it to the creative, free-flowing, musical aspect of singing and of vocalizing and of harmonizing. So I really hope in all of this that you see the benefit of what I've gone through, and I really hope it'll encourage you to try something that you never thought possible, things that you just want to create and enjoy spending time on something that you love to do. And I hope that when you do, you'll share with me on my blog some of the things that you've created, because like I said, even though it's scary, that's an important part of creation and of improvement. It's to share it. So thanks so much for listening today and for being supportive, and I hope that you find some inspiration in this.